Hello my fellow gamers and welcome once again to Better Philosophy Videos. Today I'm going to start a new let's play in the game Frostpunk and in its latest DLC called The Last Autumn. I showed you in my preview of this DLC what it brings, but here I'm going to start a new let's play, and if you're interested to keep this let's play going, you just need to comment and tell me that you want to see more of this. Now, the first thing that you need to do when you start the game in this latest DLC for Frostpunk is to collect the resources here around this pit where the actual generator is gonna be. This is the generator that powered the survival of the human race in the base game. Now, once you get these folks to collect all of this, you need to tell them to actually go and build you some tents for them to be able to survive the night, because if they do not have any tents, they will get cold at night and then they will get sick, and then you have to rush to build a medical, I think that's here, medical post, and then you have to heal them, but they might lose a leg or an arm and they are unable and unfit to work, and then your efficiency goes down and it's harder to achieve your objectives. So you need a street, and you cannot build here because this is the part of the map where the generator is going to be built. And you might have noticed that there isn't really all that much space if you take away this area here for the generator building that is going to be built here and all the generator required accessories that are going to be building the generator. So you are just left off with this area here where you can actually build all of your infrastructure, and then later on you get to build the docks over here. And if you've noticed, up here there is a ship that's on these rocks, a shipwreck that actually can be mined for 1000 resources of metal, and these are the three resources in this game: metal, wood and coal, while the food you get from raw food, which you get from two sources, either from the fishermen who can fish in these seas as it's autumn and it's not frozen like it would be in winter, and you can also, I need to pause the game while I'm talking about this, and you can also send out foraging teams to get some deer or elk or whatever, or reindeer, whatever they can find here. Now that the street is finished, this is where I need to place down my tents. As you can see, too close to the generator, invalid placement, so we have to go over here. That's two, and I'm going to build a third over here. And then I do need a little bit more of the street. This is going to spend some wood to get over here. And this is enough. This thing should get access, even though it's saying now street is under construction. You can see that it's going to get access even though the street actually finished just at the corner of the tent. After this I need two more tents, one here and one here, and then more tents over here, but I do not have enough wood for that right now. You can see the little guys hurrying about when you speed up the game, and I need to leave 3 spaces here for the buildings that actually have an area of effect that I will be building later on here. So I need to move this 1, 2 and 3, and that's 2 more tents. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I just need 2 more tents to have enough space for all the 90 workers and engineers that you get when you start the game. So that's 2 more here, and that is going to require to get the street all the way here. And this way you're making sure, I'm going to talk about that in a moment. I love these pop-ups. They expand on the game and tell you interesting things. For example, here we got camp life, idle hands, and you've got the problem with these folks who are tossing down rocks into the pit where the generator is supposed to be. Now you could stop them and increase your discontent, which means how unhappy they are with you, or just let them be, but who knows what might happen later on just because you allowed this to happen. So I'm going to stop them, and I'm not going to allow them to fill in this place with rocks, because who knows what problems I might get later on. And that's the funny thing about this game. It has so many of these nice story quirks where you are supposed to allow or disallow people from doing something, but later on you might regret your decision or be happy that that was the decision you did. Considering the fact that you can replay the game several times and there aren't any new pop-ups that are going to happen, you will know the right answer each time once you play the game enough times. But yeah, the charm does go away if you play enough times, but I think in the first attempt or the second you're not going to get to the end game, so you're probably going to learn as you go and attempt different playthroughs. So now as these folks are building all of this, I'm going to slow it down a little bit, and I love how you can watch the moon and its shadow travel across the land. It's so much fine detail. So now we have built all of these 9 huts, and all of these people are safely secured during the night, and they can sleep next to fires and make sure that they do not get sick. Sickness is a big problem here because you have a limited workforce and you need that workforce to clear away resources to build buildings. If they are sick, they cannot work, and you also have to spend additional resources to build health places like the medical post, and then you have to employ additional personnel to take care of the sick, which means you're taking away the precious resource of your manpower, which is hard to get. And you get more manpower from the homeland, which means that you have to first have docks where ships can land and then bring you more workforce. But you cannot feed that workers unless you have food rations, and to get food rations you need to turn raw food into actual eatable food. For that we need to go into the buildings, find a cookhouse and build it. This requires 20 wood, which I cannot do in the first day. I was able to collect just enough wood to make all these houses. I think the developers made this on purpose, that you can have exactly the amount of wood necessary to build all of these tents in the first night, so your population doesn't get sick during the first few days. Now they are going to be hungry, and that is why I had to build a cookhouse next day in order to have a place for them to cook food and turn this raw food into food rations, because they will get sick too if they're too hungry for too long. Now free time does end soon, and I need to plan out where exactly am I to put my cookhouse. Now because here I have the tents, and in the future I will have buildings who are going to have this area of effect, which is supposed to cover houses with different effects to make the population less prone to injury, sickness, and more happier. I have to actually go over here or over here and make the cookhouse. I am thinking about choosing this spot over here because I think that I'm going to have docks here, and then I will have additional buildings here. I want to save the wood I'm going to spend on the roads and not build roads all over the place. So I'm going to need a street that is going to go probably from here to about here, but yeah, I don't have the wood right now. I have to let them collect it, and then once I have enough for these roads, I should have enough now. Okay, I think I'm going to move it a little bit more over here, for example, like so. I think I saw something, or actually heard something. Yeah, the indignant engineer, they don't really want to bunk up with the local workforce, and they want their own engineer tents. Now if I do give in to this, the discontent will rise because they'll get their own tents, but if I refuse them, their motivation will fall. The way I play, I like to get my motivation as high as possible, and I do not wish for motivation to fall, so I'm going to allow for discontent to rise, but motivation to stay the same. And when you get enough motivation, when you pass this mark, your efficiency is going to increase, but you also have to take care of the discontent to make sure it doesn't go too high. The tree is blocking our view right now, so that the discontent doesn't make your population go up in arms against you. Now, another thing that can help you in reducing the discontent and increasing motivation is the Book of Laws, and in this DLC is called the Administration. Now there is something that I saw during the preview that will help me make the citizens feel a little bit better, is a new recipe called Hearty Meals, available in the cookhouse, and they increase motivation every day. They do, however, spend more of the raw food than normal rations do, and considering that we are going to soon have enough wood for a cookhouse, we are going to be able to cook up those hearty meals. The cookhouse does actually need personnel to work there, so I'm going to drain this unemployment pool once I get more people employed over there, but I do have some free that I can free up here if I stop extracting this metal. I haven't extracted these steam cores at all because I honestly do not need any of them right now. The gameplay just doesn't require it. You can see that it takes up 10 workers to build this, and the unemployed are the ones that are going to be the builders here. This is something that really makes it simpler, and it's a really cool design choice to simply have the people who are unemployed be the builders and the creators of roads and diggers of trenches, because that just makes it simple. Why would you have to make somebody be a builder if they're unemployed? They can just automatically be a builder. It's one of those cool things that new games bring. For example, I remember old games where you had to simply tell every single villager his role instead of them just being automatically builders if they're unemployed, which makes total sense. So that is one of the things in gameplay that games do benefit just by developers making better decisions when making and designing the games. So here we have to go from the standard meal over to the hearty meal and increase the workforce by 5 because this is the amount of folks that actually work here. Now I have 28 wood and I can easily make the workshop because I do need to research more tech. And I do seem to have enough space here for the workshop, but I'm going to put it over here. So now the unemployed are going to build a workshop and it is going to employ the engineers. Then I'm going to be able to choose my research, and my first research is going to be to research the docks so I can build them, because the docks are the way to get more resources, because these piles of wood won't last forever. Both have around 75 more, and I'm going to need a lot of wood to build all these structures. Now, I do not want for these Let's Play episodes to go on for being too long, and I know I play a lot in the slow and normal time. This is just because I want to get you familiarized with gameplay before I start playing in really fast mode and then just skipping over elements that I've already explained. Now, with the cookhouse making food rations, I am going to be reducing my raw food amounts, and I do need to get that back somehow. Now, that I need to research as well, because I'm not allowed to build anything that collects food right now, which means that is an additional reason to get my research going as soon as possible. And once this is constructed, and I first need to add some engineers to work in here, max them out at 5, I can add new research. Now I can choose either to go with foraging quarters so I can actually get some food, or to go with the docks. I do have another 150 or so wood that I can collect, but I'm not collecting any food. So it might be better to go with the forage quarters, start research on that, and I do have enough wood for that, so that I can set out foragers, and then they are going to be able to bring in more food. Once I'm equipped with food, then I can build the docks. Well, first research them and build them. Right now I do not have to build anything else, and I'm going to stop myself from building because I am not going to be able to get any more wood until I get those shipments from the homeland with the docks, and therefore I need to be careful on what I actually spend my wood on. Now, because it's night and the technology tree doesn't work during the night because the engineers are back home sleeping and resting, which means that only tomorrow I'm going to be able to get this research done. It takes, if I have seen correctly, 7 hours of their work time, and they work from 8 to 18, which means they work for 10 hours, which means I'm going to be able to do the forager quarters research fully, and then I'm going to be able to go over to the docks, which are not going to be finished on the second day, but that's fine, we are going to do that on the third day. Now, with the book of laws refreshing, I can choose another law, and the problematic here thing is, if there are a lot of laws that once you enact them, you actually have to build something. For example, if I went with the bathhouse, I would have to build the bathhouse itself, and it requires 3 coal per hour. Now, I don't have any coal, nor am I going to get it anytime soon, so I might actually go with the public house. It's only 1 building per city, and here is where the workers can wind down and be motivated a little bit more after spending their time in the public house. Now, the thing is that once I sign this law, the motivation will rise because of the desirable laws, and I will be able to construct in the people's section of the build menu this building, the public house, but it does require resources, and I don't have to build it instantly, because if I hover over here, you can see that I'm left with 3 days and 23 hours to actually build this. So I have 4 days in which to build this. I don't have to build it instantly. Now we get another pop-up saying reality check, and these people are not in a good mood and they know it. And so if they are going to be more motivated, I need to do something, but they're telling me that just each morning they're going to feel a little bit less motivated. So if I make a new law, I could help them, or if I do nothing, I won't be able to help them. But I already signed a new law, so I'm just going to say, let's see what we can do, and go into the menu again. But since I've already signed the law, there's nothing I can do about it at this point. So they're just going to have to keep being happy with the desired laws that I did so far. Now I'm waiting for this a new day to start, and in the next episode of this Let's Play I'm going to research all that can be researched and then start producing some raw food and hopefully build the docks. I'd like to thank you for watching. If you like this Let's Play and this game, please tell me in the comment section and I will keep doing this Let's Play. If not, fine, I'll find some other game that you're going to enjoy more. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more videos.